be reading from the Gospel according to Mark. The Gospel according to Mark. Begin reading at verse 45. However, first, I have something very special here. I'm going to show you. Ask you some questions. What is that? What is this?
Tea bag.
Do they have tea bags in Sweden?
Yes,
They do.
Yeah.
Where does tea leaves come from?
India.
India, Ceylon. Lady knows. If I just put this in my mouth right now, how much tea will I get? Not going to be very good. In fact, I may even choke. What is needed for this tea bag to work? Water.
Hot water.
Who said that? You are absolutely right. The hotter the water, the better the tea. There's a reason I'm doing this. Sometimes you're in hot water. Sometimes it gets really very hot, boiling even. But do you realize that sometimes God allows you, permits you, and even initiates putting you in hot water? For a reason. We're going to read in the Gospel of Mark today about the disciples whom God must have put in some hot water. Mark chapter 6, verse 45 and following. Immediately, Jesus, immediately he made his disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side to Bethsaida while he dismissed the crowd. Jesus has just fed 5,000 people miraculously on the shores of the Sea of Galilee. He immediately dismisses the crowd, but he puts his disciples in a boat and sends them out into those seas. He's not in the boat with them. He sends them into the boat. That's important. And after Jesus, had taken leave of them, he went up to a mountain to pray. And when the evening came, the boat was out at sea, and he was alone on the land. And he saw them. He's up on a mountain, they're in a boat, crossing the Sea of Galilee, and he is on the mountain seeing them as they are going in the boat. He saw that they were making headway painfully, for the wind was against them. And about the fourth watch of the night, that's about 3 o'clock in the morning, he came to them walking on the sea. He meant or looked as though he was going to pass them. But when they saw him walking on the sea, they thought it was a ghost and cried out, "Ooh!" And they saw him and were terrified. But he spoke to them and said, "Take heart, it is I. Do not be afraid." And he got into the boat with them, and the wind ceased. And they were utterly astounded. Note this. Jesus deliberately, immediately commanded them to get in the boat and go ahead of him. He does not go with them. He knows that there's going to be a storm coming. He knows how horrendous it could be on the Sea of Galilee with storms that came about. But he's in the mountain praying. And yet he sees them out on the sea in their boat. And he realizes they've got the sails up, they're pulling their oars, they're doing all they can to get across that little lake. He's not with them. But he sent them into the storm. He sent them knowing that storm was going to come. And he's not with them, or he appears not to be with them. Sometimes there's such a thing as God's preparation of you to face life. Sometimes he sends you into hard times. Sometimes he puts you in hot water, boiling, and it's serious. And you think he is not with you. You think he is far away. He's deliberately sending them to what he knows will be a storm. But he's praying for them, surely, and he sees them. When you have troubles and difficulties and problems, and you think that he's not with you, you can't see Christ with you. Why am I in this mess? Where are you, God? What's happening to me? But he's always seeing you, and Christ is always praying for you. Even though he allows you, permits you, and even sends you into a storm. You think he's not around, but he is. You think he doesn't care, but he does. And he comes to you in the midst of the storm. And it's when you need him the most. It's when the water is the hardest that the tea bag goes in to the boiling water. It's at that time that he comes to you and he speaks a word of encouragement. The King James Bible version says, "Be of good cheer. It is I." In the Greek language of the New Testament, it's saying, be of stout heart, be courageous. Face it with a smile. I am with you all of the time. And he encourages you. And he encourages me. So, the next time you're facing something that seems almost too much for you, remember, he watches you. He knows. And he did it for a reason. You will grow stronger. You will grow better when you go through those hard times. What you're going through, Michelle, right now, I don't envy you. I do not want to go through that either. I don't want June to be off in Texas. Please don't go to Texas. Please, June, don't go. But if you do, God is going to allow something to happen in your lives, and you'll be strengthened, you'll be stronger, and you will be the better person for it when God sends you into the storm. And then, like that, he comes. And he says, take heart, be of good courage, be of good cheer. I'm with you all of the way. And he steps into your boat, and everything smooths out and gets calm. Oh, David, they left it out of our hymn book. So many good hymns that we used to sing. Pass me not, O gentle Savior. Hear my humble cry. While our others thou art calling, do not pass me by. Let me at thy throne of mercy find a sweet relief, kneeling there in deep contrition. Help my unbelief. Trusting only in thy merit, would I seek thy face. Heal my wounded, broken spirit. Save me by thy grace. Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. Whatever you're into right now, whatever you're facing, whatever difficulties, temptations, troubles, just as we sang in the hymns about our friend Jesus. He's always there. He will come to you, and the waters will calm completely. Understand? But I can't do it alone. I can't amount to anything or be anything by myself. I need this assurance that without him I'm nothing, but with him I can face anything.